Right, so hello everybody. Can you all see me all right? Yeah, perfect. Right, Tara, mute yourself. Oh, I'll mute you.
Sorry, yeah, just mute me.
Get off. Right, so welcome to this evening's training. I think it's a bit different because I feel like Chelly was supposed to be doing a training this evening, but because we went to the Acceleration Academy yesterday, Jade just wanted me and Emma to kind of come on and just give you our feedback about what went on yesterday, kind of what were our biggest takeaways from it, and just some stuff like that, really. So she's asked me not to bother kind of with the housekeeping because otherwise we're just duplicating stuff that goes on the sort of like the nation training call at 9 o'clock anyway. So she's asked me not to bother doing that. So really just going to go straight into it. Has anybody got anything? Just stick your hands up if you've got anything that you want to say, or unmute yourself if there's anything that you want that's not necessarily going to go on the nation training. If there's anybody that you wanted to add or welcome or anything like that. Has anybody got anything? I'll take that as a no. Right, so Emma, do you want me to go first or do you want to go first? Me? I can't hear you, babe. Chatting away. Right, okay. So this is how many pages of notes I wrote yesterday with the training. I feel like, you know, Emma will probably like emulate this really as well from me. The training yesterday was just insane. There was so much that I took away from it. I'll give you my big sort of takeaways, kind of like I've written down a list of like my key learnings from it. But there are a few things that I've kind of highlighted that I kind of wanted to sort of just mention as we're doing it. But the biggest takeaways for me were right. Okay, so these were kind of duplicated by more or less everyone that spoke. So we listened to some amazing people yesterday. Danielle Capolaro, Hetty Gifford. Then we had some area managers, new area managers. We also had an RVP couple who literally blew my mind. They were just insane. And then obviously Sarah Dunning, who just, I don't know, she's just got so much to say, and she does keep it like dead simple. And I'll go through what she was talking about, but kind of my key learnings. So taking responsibility and accountability for your business. So this was kind of centered around a lot of people just sort of saying, you know, we are the only people responsible for how our business operates. There is no one else really that can take responsibility for our own business. Yes, we have people that we sponsor, and you know, obviously when you get to a certain level, you are relying from a QV perspective on, you know, certain people. But if people aren't doing the do, then it's your responsibility to just keep that sponsor and that prospect flow just going constantly, so that you are being, you know, it's no good just going, right, okay, I've got 3 good people, right, I'm just going to stop there because they can get me to area. It's about just constantly sponsoring. So another one that came up from quite a few people was about not letting the opinions of other people affect you. And that was a really good one for me, because I think I'm always really conscious about what people think, and people's opinions about the business and stuff like that. So, and they were really sort of saying, you know, at the end of the day, it is your business, it is your responsibility. The only person that can affect how the business works is you. So why should you worry about what other people think? Why should you let other people affect how your business runs? You know, we all know if someone gives us a lot of negativity, and especially the people that we care about, you know, it is really tough to kind of get over that hurdle. But at the end of the day, you're motivated then by one of two things. It's kind of either just a real urge to want to kind of prove them wrong, or for me, it's about, you know, really wanting to be able to get to that stage where I have achieved everything that I wanted to achieve to give them the best life and what they deserve. So it depends what motivates you. I know there's a few people that are just like, well, I just want to prove everybody wrong, whereas I don't really care what anybody else thinks apart from my family. And my motivation for this business is to be able to give them the things that I genuinely believe they deserve. So there was a massive bit around, you know, not letting what other people say affect you. Another big one that everybody was saying was get out of your comfort zone. Nothing happens unless you're outside your comfort zone. So if you are, and I can't remember her name now, she was absolutely brilliant and stunning. I'll look back in a minute and it will remind me. But she was saying about, you know, how people get really comfortable and they sit on a someday island where they're kind of, you know, they'll look at their business and they'll say, oh, someday I'll have that. Someday I'll be an MVP. Someday I'll get my car. Someday I'll get a new consultant. And they kind of sit in that zone where they just don't really do anything, and they're not motivated because they don't see any sense of urgency. They look at it and they're just like, oh yeah, someday it's going to happen. And that is where you're not working, you know, you're in your comfort zone there. So you're not motivated to do anything or achieve. Sarah Dunning was really, really passionate about this. And this is Jade's big passion, is about people showing up. So, you know, getting on the trainings, going to the events, going to DAs, you know, being on the train, like, you know, the Zoom trainings every time. Sarah Dunning basically was saying you need to go to at least one DA a week. You know, that was her opinion. And that was her opinion about how you actually keep people kind of, you know, like motivated and, you know, learning. And when I go back through her steps, you'll kind of understand why. I think I understood why she said it. And then the other one was a lot about sort of working on yourself, sort of like your self-belief, your personal development, your affirmations. And that was really driven through Sarah Dunning's talk as well. And then the other key thing I took from it really, which was again from Sarah Dunning, and let's face it, I mean, she was talking yesterday about the fact that she's 5 wide, and by the end of next year, she is going to be 7 wide. So she is, you know, and she was saying, you know, like when you get to sort of 6 wide, I think it is, you literally don't have to do anything. Once you're 6 wide, you can stop doing anything with your business at all. You know, because you've got so many people underneath you and so much going on that you actually don't have to do anything. Right, so I've highlighted loads of bits. I'm really, really quickly going to just go through kind of like the main things that I picked up on. Hi, Kaylee. I'm going to really quickly pick up on the main things that I picked up on. So Danny Copolaro was basically just about action. Just do action every day. I mean, she's a no-nonsense kind of girl anyway. She was like, 20% of your success is from the thinking and planning side of things, but 80% of what you achieve comes from the actions. The actions are what take you out of your comfort zone. There we go. You know, if you lose your motivation, go back to your why. Think about things that you've done in the past in your business that you've been really, really proud of. You know, like I know when I went to district and I got my certificate, you know, like that kind of thing, that, you know, that pride that you feel then, go back to that moment to kind of redraw on your motivation. And then she sort of says about, you know, the bit about the compound effect. Inaction doesn't actually hurt you right now, but it will affect you down the line. So you know how they say about, you know, the actions that you take now won't come into fruition until sort of like 9-12 weeks time. basically what she's saying is, if you have a month where you don't do anything, you have no activity, that won't necessarily hurt you in that month, because in that month you're running from the 3 months previous. But in 3 months' time, when you're looking to, like when you're all looking to go for like AIT and stuff like that, for us from now, that's when it hurts. That's when you notice it. That's when you lose kind of, your momentum and stuff with your business, because you didn't put the action in 3 months previous. She was like, action for her, action equals consistent improvement. And it's the only thing that generates QV on your stats. So, there isn't anything else that generates QV. She was also very strong on the, take 100% responsibility for yourself. You are where you are based on the actions you have or you haven't taken. Go that extra mile. You can achieve a lot in a little time if you're prepared to go into like massive action. Renee Bridges, I'm sure that was the really pretty lady. She was amazing, and she had a lot of stuff to say about like, be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, have you consistently worked your business for the last 3 to 6 months? Have you been consistently working your business and doing what needs to be done? She was also the one that was saying, as I said, about staying on Sunday Island. She gave us some really interesting stats as well. I'm not sure if Emma, were you there when she was talking? She gave us some really interesting stats, and she was like, 50% of consultants sign up after the 5th exposure. So when you speak to people, 50% of people sign up after 5 exposures. Okay. But she also said that from a consultant perspective, when we're looking for people, like we've got prospects that we're looking for, 40% of us give up after the first follow-up. So bear in mind that it takes 5 exposures. If we speak to that person after 1 exposure and then we follow them up, don't know what's going on, and then we follow up with them, it basically would just say, and they don't get back to us straight away. We just give up on them, or 40% of us do. And 92% give up after no results after the 4th time of asking. Now, if we give up after the 4th time of asking, 92%, just think how many people we'll have missed if they only need 1 more exposure to say yes. It's 60%. The statistics are 60% will say yes on the 5th exposure. So if 92% of us give up after 4, it's literally that 8% of people or consultants that are actually getting that 5th exposure and people saying yes. 5, you're 5 times more likely to get a sign up if you do face-to-face one-to-ones, as opposed to doing, your kind of like your Zoom one-to-ones. I mean, she said she uses them, but actually they are less effective. Then we had, who else was it that was really good? Got Ina and Tim Sylvester. Like, I thought they were amazing. I could really relate to them. These guys have had a really long journey to Region. I've just got Region. Well, they got to Region last month. They were sat really comfortably in area, like overachieving for area, but not quite getting, just naturally not quite getting the results for Region Qual. And they have gone Region after 6.5 years. But their story was just, it was so funny. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But they talked a lot about building, about a lot of people get really hung up on the title. So really hung up on being, a district manager, an area manager, a regional vice president. And they were like, don't build a title, because you can lose a title as quickly. So you only have to have someone that's really key to you to drop out, and you're gone. That's it. It's done. It's all over. They were really keen on saying, sort of like, build an empire, build a team of people that you can rely on, build a team of people that want to work the business, and constantly build. So they were going on about sponsoring all the time. They were also talking a bit about, about surrendering to, don't surrender to what you can't control. So if you've got no control over something, just let it go. Don't, just commit to changing and growing all the time. Don't let yourself, dwell over stuff that you literally have no control over. And the only thing you've got control over is you and your actions and what you do. You don't have any control over anybody else, so like when you have a consultant and they'd be really good, it's so frustrating if they're inactive or they don't do anything, but actually you can't control that. So don't worry about it, don't dwell on it, just control what you can. So go out and find someone else that's willing to do the do, someone else that wants it more. They also said about getting out of your comfort zone. And what I liked what they were saying was about committing to long-term happiness. So when you think about what you're doing and the actions that you're taking, if you do sit a little bit in your comfort zone, which we're all guilty of, I'm guilty of that probably more than most of you. Oh, sorry, the dog's in the way. What I do is, they're saying about, don't think about your short-term comfort. Think about building that long-term happiness. Think about why you're doing it, like what you're looking to achieve in the long run, and then use that to motivate you and get you out of your comfort zone. What else did I have? Okay, Hetty Gifford, she did a lot of stuff about sort of, like the colours. So, we do the shapes. She does colours. And she was talking about different personalities. Now, I don't want to confuse the two, because actually, if I'm honest, I can't remember which one equates to which colour. But she did say about a book called Personality Plus, which is a really great book and kind of teaches you how to treat different personality types when you go to sort of like one-to-ones, knowing whether or not to be prepared, knowing whether or not you're just going to make it a relaxed atmosphere and kind of like no pressure. But she was also saying about building yourself quite a lot. Always more to learn, never ever stop learning, never think that you know everything. There's so much about the business always that you need to be learning. Just keep learning and learning all the time. Notice behaviors in yourself that you have that don't serve you. What can you improve on? Sorry, I'm just muting you, Rebecca. Right, what you can improve on. And really monitoring your own behavior. So, when you become aware of a behavior, just make sure that you actually are changing that, thinking about how you can improve it. And one thing that she also said, and she was saying this, like never sharing negativity on WhatsApp or Facebook, on the team pages. She was really keen about building a rock solid bond of trust with your team. And when people sometimes will be like, oh, I can't make it on the training tonight, can I have a recording? Remember that there's other people in your team that are on the WhatsApp group, and it may be for them that if they know that you're not going to be on that training, then they may not come onto the training. And I never really thought about that. Because I do that. If I can't make a training, I'm first one going, oh my God, is it recorded? I need to see it. I'm at work. But actually, I know I'm going to see the training. I might not see it live, but I am going to see it. So not worrying about, not putting that out there to sort of like influence perhaps the rest of your team to kind of say, oh, yes, I am, or no, I'm not. And I thought that was a really key point. But obviously also about, not having anything negative. She doesn't want to spread the negativity, because, that's something else that will also impact the new team and, like the people that you're working with. Again, there was another girl there, Bethany. She was a new area manager. They can't see you, Isaac. She was a new area manager. And she was saying a lot about sort of for her, she told us a story. She was an asthma sufferer, and her and her boyfriend were going away, and they were going to swim with turtles, and it was like her dream thing. She absolutely loves turtles, and they were going to go away, and she was going to have a test, but she's afraid of the water. She's petrified of she loves the ocean, but she's afraid of it. And she was basically saying that she didn't go and have this test, and in the end she couldn't go and do this swim, and her boyfriend went, and he did this dive, and he got this amazing picture, this selfie of himself with this beautiful turtle in the middle of the ocean. And she cried about it for days and days and days. And then she was kind of saying it really taught her that the pain of regret is so much worse than the pain of discipline. So the discipline that you have to apply to your business to take action and to get it to work and to move forward is so much less than the pain of regret. So, getting to that point where you've done something and actually it's not come about for you, or you've not taken action on something that you should have done and you've not got any result. So the regret of not being able to do something, you can't, if you don't do something, you can't go back and do it. You can do it later, but you can't ever go back in time and recreate that. So that was a real key point that I took from her. Then there was another area manager, Emily Beth McGurk. Now, she built her business in Italy. So we're not even in Italy, but she built her whole business in Italy. And she went off, she was flying to this country to do like sign-ups and stuff like that with consultants. She was based over there because her husband or her boyfriend, I can't remember now, was in the forces. And she was literally just coming back and forward. Now, I mean, you want to talk about a no matter what, that for me was kind of like the biggest thing. Like, she had her little girl there, and her little girl was 6 weeks old. She'd flown over from Italy, or they've moved over here now, I think. But, she was like flying all these different places and, just to get it done, just to get the job done. So that was mental. And then Sarah Dunning's bits that I've highlighted, she's really simple. Like, her 4 steps that she gets everybody to follow as part of her duplication is to message people, to get the message right. Have a real clear message, have a standard one, like a template one, adapt it to the people that you're sending it to, and just message. When you present the business, and this is why I think she was on about us going to loads of DAs, when you go to DAs, yes, you feel like you know it, but actually take a notebook. If someone says something that really resonates with you, write it down, use it in your DA. And that's something I've never really thought of. I do think that sometimes when I'm sat there listening to DAs, I think, oh my God, I love that she just said that. And then, 3 days later, I can't remember exactly what it was that she said. So that was like a really key thing for me as well. Be really clear about the follow-up, have a real system set in place for the follow-up and for setting up new consultants. And basically she was like, if you follow those 4 steps, that's it. You're done. And that's literally the 4 steps that she uses. I'm holding up 5 fingers, but it's the 4 steps that she uses. So it's about the message, getting the message right, presenting that business properly, and being really clear, simple, and concise with it. Getting the follow-up plan in place and making sure that's accurate, and then sorting out your like your setup, making sure that they get the best start. Step up, step out, she says, about sort of doing, finding your prospects, go out there and look for people. She's not one for kind of sitting at home. Like, she was really keen, go out to sponsor. She was saying, set aside 1 hour every day for 3 key things, send 5 messages for the business opportunity, make 3 new connections every day, and the rest of the time spend on personal development. 1 hour a day. Only you can make the business work. And she was saying, if you've got a lack of passion and vision, it just diminishes when you let other people's opinions in. So she was also really keen about not letting other people affect how you work your business. Right, that's me done. Sorry, I'm a chatter. Emma, your turn.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna mute now.
I think Donna's like gone through most of it, but a few things that were massive for me, like I did miss some of the speakers because I had to go and sort my brother's car, and on the way home I bumped it on the way back, so I was a bit longer than I needed to be. Daniela Copolaro said one of the big things she said for me is take responsibility for yourself. Take 100% responsibility for everything you're doing and not doing. So when you're not doing it, it's only you it's only your fault. Like, it's only you that can control that. It's not because of anyone else. And she said, don't make anyone else an excuse. And I know I'm an absolute bugger for saying I can't come tonight because I haven't got anyone to look after now. Like, I'm making Nell an excuse. Like, it's not all the time Nell's going to have to come with me to things, but on the one-off time she might have to. If I'm serious about this, she's going to have to. So take 100% responsibility for you, like your actions, and can you be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I gave that my best. Like, there's two types of pain, she was saying, regret and discipline. What's worse? Which pain is worse, the regret or the discipline of doing that action? The regret is definitely worse. That pain is worse. So be disciplined. Do it that way. She said, I've got my notice here. I haven't gone. She was talking about, where's the action thing gone? Sorry guys, hang on. She said 20% of time is spent thinking and planning, and 80% is taking action. The 80% is what you need to focus on, taking action. The planning, she says, it doesn't build your business. You're not doing the do by planning and writing stuff down. Stop it. Just do it. Don't stop doing it, but stop making time on that. Just do it. Don't overthink it and just do it. The girl who Donna was speaking about, Renee, the makeup artist, she was brilliant. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Definitely, Tony. She was absolutely incredible with the stats and stuff. When she was talking about the stats, like being like the fifth, it's the fifth ask or the fifth exposure. She was that person. She was that person who had to, like, you kept like asking and asking, and she was literally like so annoyed with like her husband for like being like, why aren't you doing it? She was like, what are you talking about? Why aren't I doing it? Like, she completely had a backup, and they said they introduced her as like someone who used to be a pain in the ass. Like, it was quite funny, and she's done that much personal development that like she's changed the way she is, and her stats were brilliant. And the one that really got me as well is 91% of people are willing to do referrals and give referrals, but only 11% of us ask. So like 91% of people will do it, but no one asks. So ask for referrals, ask anyone that when you're saying to people, look, I'm really sorry, but if it's not fit for you, do you know anyone it might be that can have this, this and this? We know that. We know how to ask that, so do it. And she was talking about the stats of interest on money. Now, I know we're all focused on money, but something that really interested me, and I went home and told Luke this, because I don't know if anyone else's husband's quite driven by money. I don't know if it's just a man thing, it was just my husband. But she said, if the interest rates in the bank were 4%, you would need 50 grand in the bank to earn an average of like independent consultant money. Yeah, Tony. So you need 50 grand in the bank that you couldn't spend, that you couldn't touch, that just sat there. You would need 50 grand sitting in the bank to earn 100 and something pounds on interest. To earn your DM bonus, you would need £250,000 in the bank just sat there. Oh, we have 7 minutes left. Quick. Okay. Mine thinks everyone is busy. Yeah, we know, Rach. She's tried to recruit me. It's fine. And you to earn your area, like your area sort of maintenance money, you would need 500,000 in the bank, sitting in the bank to earn interest on that. We earn more than interesters on banks. Like, come on. She said, what else was there? Just really quickly, 2 points. Sarah Dunnan said the 3 C's. courage, consistency, and coachable. That's what you need to be. Everything else, if you've got them 3 things, you're set. Like, you just need the 3 C's. That's all you need. She said, start a little book. Don't get me started on mine. He calls it she said, start a little book that you might think about things called Questions to My Upline. It doesn't necessarily have to be Jade, anyone like that. She said, have a little notebook, and any question you think of, make sure you write it down, because make sure you ask it, because you're obviously going to think of it again and then you're going to forget it again. Just start a little notebook that's Questions to My Upline. She said, so about your follow-ups. Mine seems like a dream, yeah. So about your follow-ups, feel, felt, found, the 3 F's. 3 F's, feel, felt, found. When someone says, I haven't got enough time, or I haven't got the money to start up, you say, I feel like this, and then I felt like this, and now I've found this. So, did you? So Amy's sitting here saying she used to do this in sales, so it obviously works. And talking about the personalities, Amy's literally, she's in recruitment now, and just sat here and got up all the personality shapes, the colours. It's called Insights Lego Training. So if anyone wants to look at it, Insights Lego Training, that's all about the personality colours. Okay, so when you're listening to people's stories, and let them talk, don't jump in. When they're talking, and you know how easy it is to want to jump in and say, yeah, but I can help you, I can sort this out for you. Like, no, stop what you're saying. Like, I can do this for you. Listen to them, listen to what they're saying, and repeat back what they're talking about. So say someone says, I really feel stuck in what I'm doing, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. You say back, so what you're saying is your job's not great and you need a way out. Repeat, you're listening to them, make them aware that you're listening to them, and you can actually help them. So yeah, repeat their words like Amy just said. And the last thing she said, well, one of the last things, I don't think I've got left, long rest, I'm just going to say, go home and write 30 bigger affirmations that contradict your limiting beliefs. So all the things that are capping your visions, all the things that are capping what you want to do with Arbonne, go home and write 30 more that contradict every single thing that your beliefs are limited on you. Go and do it. Oh, 3 minutes. I thought you meant 30 seconds, Jade. I've just rushed that, panicking. So, yeah, no, contradict your limiting beliefs. Stamp them out. Anything that is troubling you, anything that is worrying you, anything that is stopping you from doing what you want to do, go home. I have so many, my affirmations are up everywhere. But are they strong ones? She said this. She went, it's great doing affirmations, but are they contradicting your limiting beliefs? Are they working against what is stopping you? Really think about them. Like, make sure they are. Emma, I need these stats. No, you're not having them, Rach. You weren't there. I'll send them over to you. I'm only joking. But that was something that hit home for me, because I haven't showed up a lot. And I'll be totally honest. Like, everyone said it. Like, you need to be in the trainings. And that's why I signed up for Vegas, because I need to be there. Everyone needs to be there. Like, Amy's here saying she wants to go. She's coming. Don't worry, we'll get there. But we life just get in the way. We know that, and I'm the biggest person for giving excuses. Sarah Dunham was saying it's an hour and a half on a Monday night with the 2 calls every Monday night, and then it's about 4 days throughout the year, a leadership and acceleration academy. Your recognition, yeah, you need to go to them. Obviously, that's 1 day a month. If you think what you would be doing in your actual job, that's not a lot. So I'm making a pact to get to every single one I bloody can now. I'm going to be there, and I want you all there with me. So, yeah, Amy's here too. So that's it, guys. So yeah, I think we covered it, didn't we, Don?
Yeah, just about. And we've got 1 minute and 34 seconds left. Whoop, whoop. Good job we didn't do housekeeping. I totally forgot the time would start running down just because I wasn't recording it. So I was waiting for people. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Well, I've just realised you're Jade. When I was saying, Jade, you're telling me this.
I had a little giggle at that.
Okay, so
Has anyone
Well,
got any questions or anything? Can unmute yourself. Oh, I'll unmute you all.
oh no, it's from Carnage.
Yeah. Oh, I said I'd unmute you. Unmute. Oh, it says they're all
Donna,
unmuted.
can I just quickly say, Sarah's put, I need more leadership training. Sarah, just quickly, I don't know if you've used the website creatingnations.info. I'll put it up in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, do play with Tony.
Yeah, there's a whole leadership section, as much as there is everything else. There's a whole leadership section from going from consultant to DM to area
Oh, yeah,
to
it's brilliant.
each level you go up, you need a different type of
Wave to everybody.
Where's that, Tony?
skills.
Where is that information?
I'll put it in the WhatsApp with the password. It's called Creating Nations.
Amazing.
Password is I think it's leaders with a capital L.